Everyone, Faith Row here. I'm here to help out and tackle frame drops, frame lag, shuttering, anything that has to do with frames, just so you can play and enjoy the game Landmark. And keep in mind that it is in beta and stuff like that. If you have a question or would like to come visit me for visiting, you can visit me on Server Serenity at the top here. Yeah, at the very back of the map, as you can see here, right here. Actually, my bad. Right here. I'm at the very back. Yeah, I like to be over here working on a little secret project. If you come visit, you can say, hey, if you have any questions, please post in the bottom of the forum thread. If you're YouTube, you can be YouTube message or leave a comment, and hopefully this will help you guys with your frame problems. Now, to keep in mind, we're going to go over a couple of things that do create lag at the moment and that they are aware of. So first off is opening lots and lots of menus. Having tons of menus open and reopening and reclosing and reopening, stuff like that creates lag. One of the other things is tracking an item. The reason why tracking an item causes lag, for every time that you get that item that you're looking for, it tries to update these little squares. Updating these squares flashes and the pictures flash and it creates lag. So I found that the best way to stop that is to not track it. Come to the recipe journal, click on the item you're wanting to mine, for example, a tungsten, close it. When you want to remind yourself, hey, what do I need? Just hit O. It's right there. Now, if you restart the game, you're going to have to reselect this. But opening this is a lot better than having to track something and then slowly, rack up frame lag. So we'll turn that off. The other thing is putting on the loot menu. As you get objects and stuff, it constantly updates it. The only time I would worry about coming to the loot is when you see that you get an orange item or a blue item and just flash over here, stop doing what you're doing, flash over here and say, okay, that's pretty cool, I got one of those. And then going back to chat, because chat's pretty dead anyways, unless nobody likes talking to me. All right, so that's that. Another thing is apparently reported that the compass creates lag just for being there. I don't know why anybody would want to target the poor compass, because all it does is try to help us tell it where to go. I'm sorry, compass, but I still have it, and I haven't been able to confirm that it creates lag. If it does, it's not a lot, so stop dishing on the compass, man. What did he ever do to you? He's trying to help you tell you where to go. All right, so we're going to jump over to Notepad, so pause the video if you want, or you can open it while we are going. All right, so we're going to jump over to the Notepad. All right, so with the Notepad open, we're going to go all the way up to here. This is what you want to set your thing to. Right here, that's what we're going to be looking at. All right, so for overall quality, people have a problem with getting a white screen if it's not above 2. I found that actually -1 fixes your shuttering. So it fixes shuttering, but can cause your screen to go white at the character login or create screen. So if you have that problem, set it to 2 to get into game. And if you can get in game a couple of times at 2, set it to 1 and see if you can get in. And then if it stays stable like that, you can set it to a -1. I'll see if I can find a way around it to get into game with it at -1 without that problem. I haven't had the problem, but I will try to replicate it on another computer and see if I can find a way around it. All right. Graphics quality 3, texture 1, shadow 2. Sometimes you need to set that to 1. Shadows are #1 problems for frame drops in every game in the world. There's not a game you can tell me that shadows do not cause bad frames. Shadows are notorious for frames for some stupid reason. You would think shadows wouldn't be that much, but they are. Also, render distance. Render distance wreaks havoc on your frames. I found -4 is the lowest or highest you can go that actually solves a lot of shuttering and render distance problems that will actually help you run a lot smoother. All right, gamma don't mess with unless you want to have a really bright screen. Maximum FPS. I found out that the game actually tries to throttle. Even if you don't have the specs, the game will actually try to throttle towards that number. So I found for me, 90 is the perfect balance because my system will never get to 90 on the game at the moment at its current state. and it's not too high and it's not too low. I know when you first get a pad, it says like 1,000 frames or 250, but 90 I find to be the best, blend because you'll never reach it. And then allow the game, to jump to higher frames without being capped. If that doesn't work to you, I also found 60, 62 because if you have it 62, it's actually going to run in 60 frames. Another one is 52 because 52 will run at 50 instead of or 40, it'll run at 48 sometimes, and also 32. And that is the lowest that you'll get with smooth, and sometimes at 29 and 25. At 25, you will start to get lag, graphical lag, because the game's not built for the low of those frames. But if you rather have slow moving objects and not shuttering, then that might help you. But 25 is the lowest you can go for capping. But 290. So it's 90 is the maximum you should go. Also, it will help with impact on your GPU usage, and I'll go ahead and pop that up there so you can see it. As you can see, it's highlighted with a little light underneath it. I'm getting 52 to 53 GPU usage. I'm only using 720 megabytes of video RAM. My fan is spinning at 44, and I'm getting 67 temperature, and I'm only using about 55 to 54 power. So we're gonna pop that off screen. Back to here. So anyway, on here. Oh, real quick before we go back to it, take it if you're running an SLI system like I am, take it up SLI. The game is not optimized for SLI. I am currently working on an SLI Pro temporary fix to get it to run an SLI. If you are currently running an SLI and you do know how to get it to run an SLI, please let me know in a message on the forums or message me YouTube, or if I'm in game, hey, stop by and say, hey, I know how to fix your SLI, and send me a tutorial or something, and I will get to it when I can. But anyway, so back to this. VSync, turn that off. Oh, forgot. Use LODOA. A lot of people don't know what this is. I found that it has to do with a load of detail and anti-aliasing. If I'm not mistaken, if I am wrong, please correct me. I'm not here to, anyway, but so turn that to 1. I found changing it to 1 actually helps. It, for some reason, it just does its job at 1. So 1. VSync off. The game doesn't need to be in VSync. If you're one of those fanatics that hates screen tearing, don't worry about screen tearing. At the sporadic frames, keep it from tearing. Trust me. Mine tears. It doesn't need VSync. I don't know why they put it in there. They should obviously take VSync out because the game does not need it. All right, lighting quality 2, enable Fox. Set that to 1. As you can notice, and I'll pop right over here real quick to the game. As you can notice off in the distance, not only is it like the fog because I'm in the ice area and the way it is, but if you notice, there's actually a bit more than there normally is. That's because of the fog. Obviously, the fog actually helps, and as you can tell, being zoomed out as I am staying a steady 62, 69 frames on my system. Even with streaming. So, and reason why it looks like Minecraft, you'll find out in a couple of minutes. So that's what that does. So we're gonna come back over to Notepad. All right, so turn that to 1. Wrong Notepad. All right, so keep that at 1 if you want. Effects quality 3, terrain 3. If that doesn't work for you, turn it to 1 or 2. I found for me 3 is a good balance. Floor 0, turn that off. Model quality 3, particle 2, motion blur, do not even use it. Like motion blur in some games, in this game it just makes it terrible. So turn that off. GPU physics 1. A lot of people find that to fix their crashing problems, and also it helps. It really does help. If it doesn't, turn it off. It basically it's just the physics and stuff like that for physics. AO is ambient oculation. It's a shadow technique that they use in a lot of games. HBL Plus is the new thing they use. Ambient oculation. If I'm incorrect, then please correct me in the bottom comments or on the forums, wherever you watch this video. But turning that on actually helps. All right, so we're going to go down to Let's see if I can find it. Display. If your display looks weird, change it to what yours is, and to do so, make sure full screen refresh is 0, maximized is 1. Do not set your full screen width and height to 25, 60, should be 63. That is because I'm running on a monitor that actually supports that. I do have a 4K, but I'm not using 4K. It's not only is it the monitor being stupid, this is it can't run at 4K. It can't. It's not optimized for 4K. But don't do that. I found what works is this right here. Put it in windowed mode, and then if you want it to be big, and you're a big enthusiast and wanting to have the biggest view you possibly can without lag, window it, and then hit the full screen button. And if you're in a 1080p, what it'll do is it'll full screen. You'll have the taskbar at the bottom, and then it does not use a lot of usage. I'm only using, as you could tell, I showed you, 700 megabytes, and I'm running 3 monitors. Literally, I'm running 3 25 by 63 monitors at the same time, and it's not even going above 60. So, you're fine. So do that. Anyway, moving down, I found out that this next thing that creates problems is this: video capture and video streaming. Turn those off. Use Twitch or OBS to stream. I don't know, some streamers might use this. What it does is when you stream from the game, it's supposed to send a signal to Twitch to start streaming your video, and then it sends it to the website to tell the website to update who's streaming. I could be wrong, and it could be just, when you stream on Twitch, it'll update their website, but I'm pretty sure that's what this does. Most people use OBS or some other program. I'm using OBS to make the video. Works fine. It's free, and it'll never be paid for. To set it all to 0 because it creates logs, and it doesn't need to be running because you're here to play. I'm about 60% of people who probably play are just wanting to play or check it out. So turn that off. That'll fix all the problems. And we're going to come down a bit to terrain. Draw flora. Turn that off. No, it won't turn off your harvesting of flora. It just turns off grass and extra flora that is not needed. Turn that off. Cache meshes and use cache meshes. Turn those off. That can actually cause lag because what it's doing is it's caching the meshes and terrain of the game and then loading those into your disk in a folder called caches, and then it's using those caches to help apparently quote unquote make the game faster because all it has to do is load those meshes that are already been cached, when in fact it actually causes problems and it causes your RAM to skyrocket. To turn those off, and voxel smoothing. Voxel smoothing, what that does is it creates smooth hills and doesn't make it look like Minecraft. That is the reason why I said earlier it looks like Minecraft, and you'll know why. That's because voxel smoothing off. Yes, it'll look like Minecraft, but weigh the pros. Would you rather it look like Minecraft and have better frames, or not look like Minecraft and have to deal with shuttering and lagging every 5 seconds? So turn voxel smoothing off, at least until they optimize it. I'm pretty sure the patch on 19th will do that. So turn that off for now. Voice chat, that needs to be all off because for some reason it creates logs of voice when there is no voice chat in game yet that I know of. If I'm wrong, obviously correct me. And if you know, do it, because I really want to use proximity voice to put another character in the game, to be like a stereo, play some music while I'm mining in game and my friends can hear it, and it'd be kind of funny. So somebody could be off, like, coming by and they'd hear this music playing or something. It'd just be something fun to do. So if that is that, but turn that off for now. Also, if you're new and you don't want to watch the intro video of Dave, I think that's his name, insert startup beta intro video watched equals 1. It'll cancel that video. Help out with a lot of problems. Oops, did not mean to do that. All right. Other than that, everything else should be that. Can go back, rewind the video, and check that out. So we're going to hop over to another thing to do occasionally when you are having problems. The game creates logs. As you can see here, before this video, I've had to record this video about 10 times because it kept crashing, and I actually had to go and find out the problem to stop it from crashing. Come to find out it was the drivers. You want to be on 335 for NVIDIA. Moving on. Occasionally, as you play, the game will create these logs. The logs are used to fix errors, obviously. What will happen is as you're playing, it'll make about 20 logs. The last time I was in here before this video, I had 80 logs, and they were all for, certain areas of the game crashing. The launch pad crashed. That shouldn't be in there. So what you can do is, as it gets too big, come into this folder and delete it. What will happen is it won't try to read those logs as you're playing and try to send them off. Because if it is a problem and you want to let the development team know about it, take and open the log, copy and paste everything to a forum post and say, hey, I'm getting these crashes. Here, look at them, delete the logs. But the game tries to make more and more logs, and eventually it just racks up and causes a major amount of lag. Some people have reported that apparently deleting logs actually keeps it from crashing and getting in the game. So that might be a problem fix. Another thing you can do, so you come back here and go to Launchpad and go to the Launchpad logs. What the Launchpad does is every time you launch the game literally deletes every bit of this and remakes it. So if you find that this might help out, delete these as well, because the game Launchpad is literally just going to rewrite this every time you launch it. Maybe in the near future they'll stop that because that's silly. You can delete these. I haven't deleted them because I haven't noticed. I only delete stuff if I notice I'm getting weird lags, and I'll come in here and say, hey, it might be this, and delete it. But if it's working fine, leave it alone. But sometimes this is a problem to have this. I mean, what was even, it's just a bit silly. But if you find that this might fix your problem, go ahead and do it. That's on you. I just suggested it, so don't blame it on me if you can't get in game after doing you crash. That's pretty much it. If you have happened to cache, as you can see here, it's only 4 gigs of cached files. That's ridiculous. One time I came in here and it was actually at 130, and I deleted it and it came back because when I had to restart the game, it turned it back on, and now it's 4 gigs. I'm not messing with it because my game's running fine. I'm afraid if I delete it, it'll cause more problems. So, and plus 4 gigs is a heck of a lot difference than 130 taking up space. No, I'm not worried about space. It's just it's silly and it was causing a lag, and it didn't need to be there. Another thing you can do is delete web. Sometimes that'll help, and then it'll just remake it when you get on. That's just your user info. Some people say don't do that. It's not smart, but it'll actually help most of the time. Also, the UI and resources. You can also sometimes delete resources. Yeah, it's 4 gigs, but it'll just re-download those when you start the Launchpad. But don't do that now if you're playing the game. Do that before you launch Pad, and it'll reinstall them the correct way. All right, so that is what that does. To show you real quick how much the game is using while sitting on it, is I'm only using 18% of the game with being on it. I'm going to move the camera, see if it spikes. And we're getting, moving around, we're getting spikes of 21. And as you can see right here, can't see my mouse for some reason. Right here, this is the amount of RAM. It's using 2.2 gigs of RAM, only 0.1 of my disk, and 0.1 of megabytes of network. So, and that also, turning off the cache will bring your RAM down. At one time, it spiked up, and I was like, well, this is weird. And I went and opened my task manager, and this was literally using 10 gigs of RAM. Shouldn't be using 10 gigs of RAM. I mean, yeah, sure, it doesn't bother me. I've got 32, but still, that's silly. So this should be a good base to compare your stuff to. As for that, we're going to come back in the game. And as you can see, it's running with being zoomed out and running around. I'm getting good frames with just that right there. All right, so the more fixes you can do. All right, you're going to want to go to your game settings, come to advanced video, make everything high. Now, like I said, I don't know if I said this or not, but we're going to say it one more time. This isn't a race to say, hey, my game looks better than you, okay? At this point, we're past trying to get the game to look good, ultra settings, and then getting the highest frame. Stop bragging about it, all right? Just play the game. It's in beta. Maybe it'll be optimized to be able to have those awesome settings. But right now, this is what it will take to get you 60 frames constantly, all right? So what you want to do is you want to set everything to high, make your shadows medium or high. You can do high. It's not that much of a change, but as you can tell when you go from highest, I'm now steady at 50, and it's like jumping all over the place. I found medium keeps it a good 60, but doesn't make it look horribly stupid. Also, having a medium allows you to see ores at longer distances. You can see the gate and copper, but on highest, well, you can now, but before you couldn't. Um, but I don't think you're going to be stopping to admire shadows from a distance and be like, oh, those shadows look amazing from that far away. I don't think. I mean, there may be somebody else I like there. I know sometimes I do, but I want the game to run and look good um, right now. So that is what you can do for that. Make sure, like I said, turn off cache terrain meshes, and that the notepad should have done that for you. And also, if you like physics, I mean, the physics is you can turn that off. I don't notice enough of a damage in frames to turn it off. Audio, you can just select this should be on Razer. But yeah, that's oh yeah. Some other things you can do. View my claim. Turn those off. Turn all these claim boxes off. It's trying to load those claim boxes that can cause problems. Let me turn that off. And there's no difference. Try compass. I don't know why people are on you. But no, so that's what you can do. Also excessive, oh, one more thing. Man, I'm forgetting all sorts of stuff. Excessive use of the grappling hook can cause lag and stuff like that. So, but as you can see, I'm running around, not only recording at the same time, I'm still maintaining a good amount of frames. If it does drop, the way the frames are set up, that it's actually really not that big of a difference. You do run on the the terrain a little weird because of all the little squares, but like I said, it's I'd rather that than dropping in frames every 4 seconds. Uh, Also, having it in squares, I don't know, but having it in squares makes it easier to mine. Oh, whoa. Well, that's another problem I need to find. I literally started mining and crashed. So I'll look into that. But as for shuttering and stuff like that, that's what you can do to fix your problem. If you have a message, remember, post it in the bottom of the thread, YouTube or anywhere else. And I have another problem to tackle at this moment. But this has been Faithwear, and I really hope this has helped. See you guys later.